This is Eternity Egg, a game I believe you should keep an eye on. Despite only being released into early access on December 10th, the game already shows insane potential. With the lack of tutorial and little to no hand-holding at the start of the game, getting an understanding of the game can be difficult. After all, the game doesn't tell you its controls. Even 10 hours into the game, I was finding new movement abilities and text constantly. For ease of access, I'll quickly go over all the movement controls and the combat. Click left mouse button to use a regular bell swipe. Hold left mouse button to charge a bell swipe. Use an aerial bell swipe for a dash M1. Hold an aerial bell swipe to supercharge the dash M1. Hold right mouse button to block. Hold right mouse button and press tab while holding D or A to do a sideways roll. Press tab while grounded to dash regularly. Use dash while in the air to perform a roll. Hold roll in the air to perform a super roll. Press space to jump. Hold space to perform a pogo. Use a charged bell swipe while holding right mouse button and holding A or D to perform a side wall run. Do the same while holding W to perform a vertical wall run. Press tab while pogoing to perform a bell down slam. As you can see from the diverse combat and movement options, the player has a lot of input over their actions, and there's a lot of complexity to both the movement and the combat in game. The tutorial helps you get a sense for the combat, giving you basic enemies that only simply roll at you, giving you an easy time to block and counterattack. Later in the prologue, the player is introduced to night enemies. These enemies, unlike the spiky rolly dudes, can actually block your attacks, meaning you actually have to think before attacking them. Attacking them while they're blocking will result in them counterattacking before you can block in exchange. This tutorializes the player, teaching the player how to learn enemy patterns and the gameplay loop of the game. This will apply to all bosses and all enemies in the future. Now that you have a basic understanding of the game's combat, let's delve in. The game opens to a retro PS2 style cutscene, giving a quick exposition about the story and an introduction to the main character and their weapon. The first thing I would like to point out is how stylized the main character is. The main character's design was the first thing that grabbed my attention to the game. I have to say, the developer did an amazing job designing the characters and the art style of the game overall. The TheGamersJoint's video about Eternity Egg goes into further detail about the art style of Eternity Egg, and I'd recommend watching that video if you're interested in that side. I'll be talking more about the gameplay and how to get into the game due to the lack of information online about it currently. After an almost impossible to understand opening cutscene, which I very much appreciate, I love my media confusing I must say, the player is thrusted instantly into the previously mentioned prologue. The prologue, Idiot's Domain, the first level, ironically, is what most people think the entire game is. A majority of reviews on Steam seem to think that Idiot's Domain is all the game has to have, which I can't partially blame them since getting past Idiot's Domain isn't really explained. They don't exactly show that you have to click all the buttons, it's just inferred. I mean, if you see a button, you should click it. This lack of direction or hand-holding during the prologue can be a result of it being early access, but I see it more as a stylized choice for the style of the game, as despite there not being many, there is clues on where you should go in the prologue. The prologue, like the rest of the game, expects you to explore and seek out clues for yourself to figure out where you want to go. Selecting all the buttons opens the door to the boss. The boss, like the prologue, doesn't explain how to beat him. Unlike every other enemy in the game, you cannot damage his feet and you cannot damage his arms, resulting in the player having to come up with a new solution on how to defeat this enemy. My preferred method for beating the prologue boss was using my vertical wall run, then using a charged bell swipe to land hits against the head and repeating. After beating the tutorial boss, the player will gain access to the Orb Hollow. To go to the Orb Hollow, all you have to do is go to one of these teleporters and click on it, and you'll now see the new option to teleport. Upon teleporting the Orb Hollow, you'll gain access to new NPCs, shops, and mobs. This place serves as a safe haven, allowing the player to flick a switch and open a mysterious elevator. Following the path to the elevator will force you to cross a bridge. Crossing this bridge will get you into a cutscene, showing the very next boss. I'll play this cutscene now. The Eden Obliterator, the next boss, is a big step up from the last one, having multiple attacks and multiple different limbs you have to get rid of before falling. Destroying the eye, flower, left arm, and right arm will result in the boss being defeated. Upon defeating this boss, the player will be able to move on to the next area, the elevator. Moving up the elevator will give the player access to the open world. Upon gaining access to the open world, the player will be able to repair their Eden mech suit. Repairing this Eden mech suit will give the player a spaceship they can spawn in to fly around the open world, giving access to new areas. With this discovery, the player is now able to invest stats into their character. Investing these stats is currently mostly unknown. Luckily, a community member on Steam has gone into the files and gave us answers on what all these stats do. I will go over them now. Bounce affects your jump force, bounce force, movement speed while airborne, and acceleration speed while airborne. Speed affects your max grounded movement speed, your max speed while flying in mech, and your max swimming speed. Power increases dash force, increases acceleration speed while grounded, and increases your overall damage floor. Life only increases your max health. Luck increases the force of your side dash roll. Ecstasy increases your max stamina, stamina regen speed, and wall run speed. Overall, if you want a recommended build, from what I've tested, Power and Ecstasy seem to be the only stats worthy of investing in the current state of the game. But you're able to remove your stats and re-add them at any time you want, so try anything you want yourself, as you can change it at any point. But for now, that's it. You're now in the open world and are able to experience the game for yourself, so please tell me what you think of the game in the comments. The game will be on sale until December 24th, 2025, so now is a good time to get into it, as the price will increase to $30 once the game leaves early access. I will warn, as the game is in early access, I have experienced many bugs, various teleporting, and a few crashes. However, as the game is early access, that is to be expected. Anyways, thank you for watching, and have a nice day.
Miro, please, Terminus kinda update list?